Adopting a hamster can be an exciting time for a household because you've got this new, interesting creature in your home. When you think about the things that a hamster needs, there's actually quite a few items that meet all of its different care requirements, its maintenance, its behavioral, its environmental, and its nutritional needs. At Petland, we have curated a homecoming kit that will allow you to get a lot of the items above and beyond the primary habitat that will meet this variety of needs. And this is all available to you prepackaged at a discount versus selecting these items individually. So to get started, we have to acknowledge that hamsters are a tiny little creature. And when they are moving to a new environment, it is natural for them to be scared, suspicious, and potentially stressed due to the change in environment and the fact that they're in a totally new place, new people, new smells, new everything. So we have to manage the stress for the hamster. One of the primary ways we do that is with a product called wet tail drops. The physical manifestation of stress in a hamster is diarrhea. They call it wet tail, and wet tail can be potentially fatal because it's such a small animal. If they dehydrate, they don't have a lot of liquid to lose from their system before it becomes a problem. So we have this wet tail drops, and we have care instructions as far as how much of it to use. Basically, you'll use this entire bottle within the first week, and if you use this before your hamster is experiencing the stress, basically right away you set him up with it, you provide this in his water, greatly reduces the chances that that hamster will actually develop the wet tail. So this is a very important thing, and it's one of the main things that's in this package. Now, the rest of the nutritional needs are very important to meet properly. This here is the primary diet for your hamster. This will meet 75% of the nutritional requirements. It looks like a green Cheerio or a green Fruit Loop. And the deal with this is every piece of the food is the same color and with the same ingredients. Doing a diet that has uniform pellets as opposed to a seed blend is the best way to actually meet the hamster's nutritional requirements. If you give the hamster the choice and you give him a seed blend of 30 different seeds, what will happen is he will pick the goodies, the ones that are the highest in the fat, and then they will just ignore the rest. And what will happen is your hamster will become nutritionally deficient, potentially, and you waste a bunch of the food that you're buying because he's not eating 2/3 of the blend. So the hamsters in our store are already used to this uniform blend, and this is the way to feed them. So you just provide some of this in a dish daily, and that's the primary diet. So then, above and beyond the primary diet, we have oat hay. So oat hay is a fun thing for foraging where they'll actually like nest in it. They may hide some of their goodies in this. They'll eat it. This has the little oat heads, the immature oat heads that are part of the grass. The hamster will enjoy eating that. So it's basically kind of a supplement. It's a treat. It's a foraging thing. It provides a variety of needs for your hamster. So that's in here as well. And foraging is a concept that we have to understand because in the wild, the hamsters don't get to eat food out of a dish. They have to work for their food. They have to, be very active in finding food and storing food on a regular basis. That's why hamsters have the cheek pouches. So when they're out and about, they can stash food in their cheeks and then keep on searching. So this here is a crunch stick. Now, treats are only supposed to be about 2% of the diet. You're not providing all the time crunch sticks, but as a occasional thing that's interesting for your hamster to chew on, yep, this is a great thing. So this is an apple and honey flavor. They come in a bunch of different flavors. It features a clip so that you can actually clip the crunch stick to the side of the hamster's habitat, and there's a wood stick in the middle. Hamsters have to work their teeth, so they'll work their teeth on the actual crunch stick, but then in the middle of it, they'll actually gnaw on that wood. Hamsters have constantly growing teeth. They keep coming in, and they would naturally wear down in the wild, but you're not really having to do a whole lot of work in captivity. So by providing different things for the hamster to gnaw on, one of them being this crunch stick, will help provide opportunities to naturally wear down the teeth. So there's that. Now, Another nutritional item that also meets a behavioral need is a key treat that we use in hand taming. You want to build trust with your hamster. Hamsters are nocturnal. A lot of times when hamster owners want to interact with the hamster might be asleep. And you don't just want to go in there and grab your sleeping hamster. Because they're such a small creature, hamsters might be inclined to bite first and ask questions later. So we've got hamster yogurt drops. The way these are processed, there's actually no dairy in it. It's just more of a fruit flavored drop, but it smells very good. And hamsters do have a good sense of smell. So what will happen is you've got your yogurt drop, the hamster's in his habitat, you're gonna put the yogurt drop in front of the hamster and lead, the hamster will like wake up to the drop, and then you'll lead the hamster into your hand, and once you've got him in your hand, you give him the little treat. And you're building trust with your hamster. You're not getting bit because you're not being very scary, and you're creating the association for the hamster that interacting with you is a positive thing, and tasty rewards are the reward. So that's great. We also have Crunchy Slims. This is another treat where it looks like a Cheeto, and you could give the hamster the whole thing and he'll probably shove the whole thing in his little cheeks. Probably better to cut this up into smaller bits. You could use it as a taming treat as well, or you could just use it as a supplemental, like every once in a while, give him a crunchy little Slim and he'll enjoy that. Finally, we have these mineral chews. Just put one in the habitat and let him gnaw it up, and that'll be a great little thing to supplement his overall diet. A little source of calcium and magnesium. So there's that. So those are the items that are part of the nutritional needs that are in this package. Then we already alluded to it, but one of the maintenance needs is also a behavioral need, is that hamsters have to gnaw. The teeth keep growing. We have to provide things that are going to be helpful for the hamster to wear its teeth down. So we have a kebab. The kebab features wood, and the wood is replaceable. So ideally, the hamster is going to chew the heck out of this stuff, and it won't look like cute little fruits and vegetables in a month. It'll all be chewed up, and you'll have to put new things on here. If you still have this kebab in a month and it looks intact, your hamster's not gnawing on stuff. That's a problem. So you could actually intersperse some treats in between the little wood pieces. The bottom of this unscrews so that you can thread new things on there. And you might also choose to vary the location if a month goes by and the hamster's not gnawing. The hamster needs to gnaw. So this is the best way to dispense the wood. You don't just want to take these little wood bits and throw it in the cage. Hamster's going to pee all over that stuff. He's not going to chew it up. Now this has a fun little bell, but hamsters are nocturnal. So if you find that the hamster is keeping your child up at night ringing the bell, it's completely possible to remove the bell. It's got a little keychain style ring here. You can just thread the bell off of there and you don't have to hear it. So that's in here. That's a fun little thing for maintenance and behavioral. Then we have a fun tunnel. So this is basically like a heavy-duty cardboard tunnel, and it has some bedding fluff in here. So you just take the plastic off, put it in the habitat. This is serving a dual purpose. One of the behavioral needs for a hamster is they need to have a hiding spot. Hamsters are going to naturally sleep in a burrow. They're not going to sleep in the middle of a field. They're not going to be out in the open. So the fun tunnel is providing that getaway. And there's a variety of different sorts of hides, but your hamster needs to have a hide in its habitat. If your hamster just has a lot of open space in the cage that you've provided, what winds up happening is the hamster's always looking around for the hawk or the thing that's going to come and eat him. So you need him to feel like he's got a way to get away from stuff. So that is what your little chew tunnel provides. And it's got the bedding fluff in there. Unwrap the plastic, put this in the habitat, leave the fluff in there. He will grab that. He'll either shred it up and leave it in the tube, or he'll bring it to where he wants it to go. You can purchase the fluff by itself if he chews that up before the tunnel's chewed up. The tunnel will not last forever. It's just made of cardboard. If he decides he wants to gnaw on it and chew it up, that's going to happen. Once it's all chewed up, you'll have to get a different hiding spot. But this is a good starter. Then one of the things that maybe parents would be concerned about when you own a hamster is maintaining the habitat. Who's going to do it? How smelly is the hamster? Things like that. So first things first, There are a variety of bedding options for a small animal. We do not recommend the wood-based beddings. The paper-based beddings are lower dust, higher odor absorbency, and just easier to spot clean. This is white. If the hamster pees on it, it won't be white anymore, and you could just remove those peed-on pieces and kind of top it off. In the habitat, a hamster will usually gravitate towards soiling the corners. There is an optional hamster potty that you can get, which is a very enclosed area that will encourage them to potty, but for the main habitat, this is the ideal bedding. Now, once your hamster has been in the habitat for about a week, it's going to be time to change the bedding. So step one would be remove the hamster from the habitat. The safest place to put the hamster when he's not in his main home is a hamster ball. So obviously keep it away from stairs, keep it away from large dogs, but this gives your hamster the ability to exercise and explore without accidentally getting away, getting under furniture, getting behind stuff. This keeps him out in the open. So this is the best place to put the hamster when you are cleaning the habitat. Then step two would be, dismantle the habitat, open it up so that you can get the bedding out, and dump the bedding. And then we have our habitat cleaner. This has an enzyme in it. The odor from a hamster is not coming from the poop. It's actually coming from the urine. It smells really strong. And what can happen, particularly in plastic habitats like plastic bottom cages, that ammonia smell can actually soak into the plastic over time. So this product, you'll dump the main bedding, you'll give the bottom of the habitat a spritz, let it sit about 5 minutes, and then wipe it away with a paper towel. And this is helping to prevent any of that stuff from getting into the habitat. It will really reduce how smelly the habitat is. And then you put your new bedding on top, and you're probably putting the bedding maybe a ½ inch deep overall, a little deeper in the corners where the hamster's more inclined to soil. So this is the hamster homecoming kit. It's a good start. It's not everything. It doesn't meet all the needs of your hamster. But if you already have a habitat plus this assortment is a really good start. We have a 4 basic needs sheet for every pet type, so we can review with you the rest of the 4 basic needs for the hamster when you come into the store. If you have any questions about hamster care, we invite you to come into our store and speak with our pet counselor.